who's here? Hey, Nina. How are you, my darling sister? Hey, Bitsy Lou Who. How you doing, darling? Nina, you need to be here now. Whew, gotten colder. Let's see. I didn't think. I hope Reese's daughter knows we're over here. Did you tell her? It's 69. And it says, "You shut your fucking hamburger hole. This is a perfectly fine day." A meeting? I don't want a meeting. A perfectly fine day. Not my favorite number, because if your bodies don't line up right, it ain't a good number. We have a third person on here. Who's on here with us tonight? Whoop whoop. Okay. Is that punching buttons? I don't know. I probably don't need to be punching. That's cool. I knew Reece didn't have was gonna have to work tonight, so it's all good. Like she said, it's the life of a nurse. Okay, for those that aren't commenting, I don't. If you've tried to comment and it's not letting you, try subscribing. I'm still trying to figure out why it's not letting people comment. Some can and some can't. So if you're having a hard time, try subscribing to my channel and see if that helps. Because I see there are 2 other people on here and I'm not seeing any comments from you. So it makes me wonder. Why, why? No, I don't want to do that. See what happens when I do that. No, I do want to. Want to look up. This is a sweet one, y'all. You're gonna like it. Ooh, I'm up to 50 subscribers. Whoop, whoop, rocking it. Only 950 more to go before I get a penny. Yeah. Nina? There we are. I was just trying to see if that posted. So I think you have to be a subscriber in order to post. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. So, yay. All righty. So, tonight's book is called Bless Your Heart. Oh, let her tell you about it a different time. Not on here, Nina. It's not the right place. But let her tell you about it a different time. So, this is the book I have. There's actually a 4-book series, and I have all 4 of them. I actually read one. I want to say it was Chin Up Buttercup. I read one of them to you. But tonight's called Bless Your Heart. And Reece Taylor is from that Mississippi, Alabama area. And I met her at 2 different book events, and I just fell in love with her. She's just totally awesome. But she is a nurse. So whoop, whoop, all the more power to her. And she's having to work tonight. I did ask her about the virus in her hospital and stuff, and she says, no, it's the numbers are really low. So thank God for that. And let's just hope and keep them in our prayers and keep everyone else in our prayers and hope that it comes along. But I'm reading this off my Kindle. I'm not messing my book up because she signed it, Stay Sassy, because she knows me. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start tonight. And I'm going to read chapters 1 through 3. And here we go. If I need glasses or not. I put my contacts back in, so I have to do this. Oh, there's perfect right there. Oh yeah, and I'm having my alcoholic beverage tonight that Mike picked me up. So we'll see. He said that's all they had, so we'll see. It's do or die time. Tonight is the night. Oh, this is chapter 1, and it's from Hannah's point of view, and it is Bless Your Heart. It's the second book in the Twin Oaks series. So, all right. It's do or die time. Tonight is the night. I'm hooking up with Lee Burkett and turning this childish crush into an adult relationship. Crazy as it is, I will see this through come hell or high water. Does anybody else around here say hell or high water? Because Lordy be, I do quite often. Tonight, my hope is either to start something meaningful with the man who has starred in my dreams for longer than is healthy, or work him out of my system. One way or another, he will see me as more than his best friend's little sister. Thanks to my new sister-in-law picking this sexy, strapless bridesmaid dress, I'm looking hot tonight. The dark turquoise color makes my skin glow and my eyes pop. My dark hair with its blonde highlights is falling down my back in Long Beach curls. And although I was barefoot for the ceremony, these strappy heels make my legs look longer. My bright turquoise toenails are peeking out the ends of my shoes. I chose the color just for the occasion. My biggest fear tonight is Lee seeing me as his best friend's little sister, not a woman he can have a relationship with. The timing is perfect, almost as if I'd planned it myself. We have our own rooms at this beautiful beach resort, and my brother Conrad is totally distracted. Lee has finally shown up to an event alone. He usually has a beautiful woman on his arm. Thanks for moving my desk. He usually has a beautiful woman on his arm. When this occurs, I spend the time being miserable as he lavishes attention on his date all night. I usually have to sit back and act as if seeing him with other women doesn't bother me. I've hidden my feelings for years, but it ends tonight. My plan is simple. I'm going to get him drunk and take advantage of him. I've been watching him all night, waiting for the right moment to make my move. I'm determined not to chicken out. Fear is not an option. The wedding is over, and it was beautiful. Check. Dinner was served and eaten. Then speeches were made. Check. The bouquet was thrown, the garter was tossed, and the cake was cut. Check. Conrad and his new bride Rachel have left the building. Everyone is dancing, drinking, and having a good time. Check. I just need a bottle of tequila and a couple of shot glasses because, according to my brother, Lee can't handle his tequila. Lee is sitting off to the side by himself, secluded from the rest of the partygoers and looking a bit bored, slouched in his chair and looking off into the distance. It's now or never. My stomach jumps at the thought, so I have the bartender pour me a shot. I order the bottle of tequila to stay where it is, and the bartender gives me a strange look, earning him a wink from me. Don't judge. A little liquid courage never hurt anyone. If there were ever a time I needed all the courage I could get, the time is now. When I ask for another glass, he winks at me only to scowl when I pick up both glasses in the bottle and turn away from the bar, heading toward my destiny. The warmth from the liquor settles in my stomach. I may want to go lightly on any further shots, future shots. Taking a deep breath, I fortify my courage and continue moving forward, setting the bottle and glasses in front of Lee when I arrive at his table. I take a seat next to him and begin to pour us each a shot. He raises his eyebrows at me, looking a bit shocked at my sudden appearance. Hannah, what are you doing? Trying to hide my nervousness, I flash him a sexy smile, or what I hope is sexy. I'm enjoying my brother's wedding reception, which you, Lee Burkett, are not doing. You look lonely and don't seem to be having any fun, so I thought I would liven you up. Narrowing his eyes at me, he takes the shot, sending a shiver down my spine as he casually brushes his fingers against mine. One more shot can't hurt. To no regrets. I toast as we clink our glasses together. Cringing, I barely stop myself from gagging as I swallow the liquor. Nope, no more from me, but Lee is just getting started, whether he likes it or not. Here, have another. I offer, pouring him another shot. Lee lifts the glass, tipping it toward me before throwing it back, and sets the glass on the table with a thud. He's fallen nicely into my plans for the evening. Are you trying to get me drunk and take advantage of me? He winks and flashes his sexy smile, the one I've loved for as long as I can remember, where one side of his mouth kicks up, making me want to lean forward and lick his perfect full lips. Nope, definitely no more for me. Leaning forward, he rubs the tip of his callous finger across the knuckles of my hand. I look into his smoldering blue eyes and want to drown in them, feeling a bit flushed. I like flirty Lee. Maybe I am. I think it's time you saw me as more than just Conrad's little sister. I bat my eyelashes at him as he drinks his shot, then I pour him another. He looks down into the glass and frowns. Oh, I definitely see you as more than Conrad's little sister, and that's the problem. What could he mean by that? Well, it's only a problem if you make it one, I counter as he tosses back the shot. I'm not sure you're ready for what I'm offering. He looks up, his eyes meeting mine as his voice deepens with the innuendo. Squirming in my chair, my legs brush against his, and I feel as if butterflies have taken flight in my stomach. If he's offering a night of wild sex, I'm definitely ready. After tonight, we'll have to let the chips fall where they will. I refuse to think about the future at this moment and am determined not to let doubt get in my way. Placing my arm on the back of my chair. I lean back. I see no reason for Conrad to play a part in what happens between the two of us. We are consenting adults, and I'm enabled to make our own decisions. I motion around the room, indicating my brother is nowhere to be found, and pick up the tequila. Lee takes the bottle from my hand and pours the clear liquor into my glass. Motioning for me to drink, he winks. Yeah, I'm on to you, pretty girl, and I'm not drinking alone. Call me pretty girl, and I am melting like chocolate in the Georgia sunshine in July. Mm. I pick up the glass and have no intention of drinking it, still feeling the effects of the last one. He grins and pours himself a shot when I nod toward his glass. We clink our glasses together and I toss mine over my shoulder, pretending to drink, even making a gagging noise for effect. Lee grins, swaying slightly in his chair. When it comes to tequila, he may be more of a lightweight than Conrad thought. No more shots for him. I want the man tipsy, not falling down drunk. After looking around the room, Lee turns his narrow gaze to me and grips my shoulders, so I'm looking directly into his eyes. No, Conrad, fine. But are you sure this is what you want? Are you ready to take this step? I'm tired of wanting you and not acting on it. I'm a grown-ass woman, and I'm capable of making my own decisions. I'm not drunk, so you can't use that excuse. I've decided I want you, Lee Burkett, and it's happening tonight. No regrets allowed. I fire back. I can't believe I just said that. Oh, crap, what if he doesn't want? Lee leans forward and presses his lips to mine. His sudden move makes me gasp, and he takes full advantage by slipping his tongue in my mouth and rubbing it against mine. Releasing a moan, I thread my fingers through his silky blonde hair. He grabs my ass and pulls me onto his lap, and I press my body into his. His mouth is devouring mine, and I pull his hair, trying to bring him closer. Lee pulls back slightly to suck my bottom lip between his teeth and nip it lightly. He licks away the sting, and the kiss quickly heats up again, more so than what would be considered appropriate in a crowded reception hall filled with my family. We break apart, slightly out of breath, and I look around to assure myself no one is paying attention to us. Everyone is distracted by my grandmother busting a move on the dance floor to single ladies. Lord, I hope she doesn't break a hip as she gives Beyonce a run for her money. Let's get out of here. Taking my hand, Lee leads me out onto a terrace. Do you want to walk on the beach? I shake my head. No, I'd rather go to your room. He looks down at me questioningly for a few seconds and nods. Fine, my room it is. Hand in hand, we walk to the lobby and board the elevator. My heart is pounding. I can't believe this is actually happening. I've had a thing for this man for as long as I can remember. While growing up, he was at my house hanging out with my brother quite often. He's always been my ideal man. He's loyal to his family and friends. He has a sense of humor and is able to laugh at himself. Not to mention he's hot as hell with a long, lean body that won't stop. Suddenly, I'm backed up against the wall of the elevator with Lee's mouth on mine. Reaching up, I run my fingers through his hair as he moves closer. I have dreamed of what it would be like to kiss Lee. The real thing is so much better than I could have imagined. The elevator comes to a stop and we jump apart as another couple enters. We stand apart, continuing to hold hands and stare into each other's eyes. His tight hold, a promise of things to come. Finally, we reach his floor and quickly exit. Once the door closes, we both start laughing and he leads me down the hallway to his room. As we enter, my breathing kicks up several notches and it feels as though butterflies have taken flight in my lower stomach. This is a big deal. It's not every day a girl can say she's had sex with the man of her dreams. Closing the door, he approaches me with a look of intense hunger, as if I'm his last meal. Holy hell and all its occupants, I think my heart just stopped. Wetness pulls between my legs at the desire in his piercing blue eyes. I almost let out a girly squeal at the thought this is really happening, but before I can, he captures my lips again, devouring me. I put my hands on his shoulders and hold on because I worry my legs may give out at any moment. Reaching behind me, he unzips my dress and lets it fall to the floor, revealing a turquoise strapless bra and matching thong. Lee stands back and looks at me, an impressive bulge forming in the front of his pants. Lifting my eyes, I meet his smoldering gaze. Damn, girl, I knew you'd be perfect. You are more than I ever imagined. I can't believe I'm standing in front of Lee Burkett, practically naked, and he finds me perfect. With one hand behind my knees, he scoops me up, carries me to the bed, and lays me on my back. Undoing the straps of my shoes, he massages my feet as he throws them behind me. A giggle escapes as he kisses the back of my knee, hitting a ticklish spot, and I feel his smile against my skin. My thumb goes flying over his shoulder, quickly followed by my bra. I find it almost impossible not to try and cover myself as I'm lying naked before him. Lee runs his fingers along my sex, and I arch my hips toward him. So wet for me. I'm going to make you scream, baby, and I mean scream. Pulling his shirt over his head, I get my first glimpse of a full grown Lee Burkett. He's magnificent. Running my hands over his broad tan chest, I encounter a small amount of blonde hair in the center that adds a bit of roughness to an otherwise smooth, hard surface. My gaze travels down to his six pack and the perfect V at his hips. He obviously does more than sit at a desk all day. Wait a second. Is that Tinkerbell? Sitting up, I lean forward for a better look. It's not very big, but it's definitely a Tinkerbell tattoo. I know you want to ask, but could it wait until later? I have other things on my mind right now. As he circles the shell of my ear with the tip of his tongue, I shiver and run my hands up his chest and over his nipples, earning a deep moan in return. Reaching around his neck, I pull him down with me as I lie back. He leaves a trail of kisses from my neck to my breast and takes my nipple into his mouth. Arching my back, I close the gap between us as he squeezes my other breast and strums my hardened nipple with the rough surface of his thumb. My heart is pounding in my chest and my breathing has increased as if I'm running a race. Lee moves from my breast and I whimper at the loss. He travels downward to my navel and runs his tongue around it, sucking in my lower abdomen with a gasp. I await his next move with bated breath. Lee makes his way further down my body, spreading my thighs as the warmth of his breath against my skin makes my temperature rise several degrees. I begin to quiver as he licks my center from top to bottom and his tongue circles my clit. I may have an out of body experience as pleasure rolls through me, sending tingles through my body. Gripping his hair with my hands and arching my back brings my core tighter against him, increasing my bliss. He hums against me, and my orgasm begins to roll through my body. I can't stop the wave of pleasure from crashing into me, so I give in to it, screaming his name with abandon as he continues to devour me until only remnants of the powerful orgasm remain. Crawling up my body, Lee presses his lips to mine, allowing me to taste myself. I never thought I would find that hot, but I do. He pulls away from me and removes his pants, releasing his very hard, very large erection. My eyes widen and he chuckles as he leans forward. Hannah, please tell me this isn't your first time. I shake my head. No, it isn't my first time. I don't have very much experience, but it's not my first time. I experimented in college with a couple of guys, but they couldn't compare what I've already experienced with Lee. I can hardly wait for what comes next. Reaching down, he pulls a condom from his wallet and rips the foil with his teeth before quickly putting it on. Nuzzling my neck, he moves his body between my legs and places the tip of his cock at my entrance, and my body tenses. Trust me, I would never do anything to hurt you. Now I need to be inside you. He pushes forward, and there is a slight burning sensation as he stretches me. I lift my hips, taking more of him as he presses deeper, filling me to the hilt. So tight, so hot. He thrusts harder, and I push against him, trying to take as much as possible. I love how full I feel. He begins to breathe heavily, and his movements become more erratic. Placing his thumb on my clit, he rubs against it, skyrocketing my pleasure once more. Need you to come. Can't hold out much longer. You feel too good. Lee moans in my ear. Waves of pleasure flow through me once again, much more intense than before, as the orgasm crashes into me. I can't hold back the scream as I shatter in his arm. Lee quickens his pace, only to stiffen as he reaches his own peak. He groans as he buries his face into my shoulder. Falling to the side of me with a groan, Lee holds me close for a few minutes as our breathing calms. He leans down and kisses me softly on the lips. Baby, that was unbelievable, he murmurs. Stay here. I'll be right back. Lee disappears into the bathroom and returns later with a warm, wet cloth. Spreading my legs, he uses the cloth to clean me. I'm a bit taken aback by this, but also charmed he would care for me in this manner. Once he completes his task, he climbs back into bed and pulls me to his side. Snuggling up against him, I'm about to go to sleep when I remember Tinkerbell on his chest. About your tattoo, I really hope you don't think you can get away without talking about it. And this is just the first chapter, Nina. He squeezes my waist and chuckles, a deep rumbling sound in his chest. I lost a bet in college to a guy in my fraternity. It was stupid, and I never should have gone through with it, but I'm not one to renege on a bet, even a ridiculous one. I challenged the guy by saying he was a pussy if he didn't streak fraternity row during rush week. He said if he did, I had to have a fairy tattooed on my chest. He did it, crazy son of a bitch. So I found a tattoo parlor the next day, and now I have a tink. Laughing, I find it hard to believe Lee would be so goofy in college, or that he would follow through with a crazy bet which would leave him with a permanent reminder of his stupidity. Can you ever change it or get it removed? Yeah, I can now. I had to keep it for 5 years, and the deadline is next month. I don't know though. I kind of become attached to old Tinkerbell. I lean up and kiss the tattoo. She is cute. Settling in, I close my eyes and listen to Lee's steady breathing and heartbeat. Waking up in a strange place, I'm disoriented and turn to see a strange person in bed with me. Then it hits me. I spent the night having sex with Lee Burkett. Oh shit! I spent the night having sex with Lee Burkett. Oh, my heart starts pounding and my breaths are becoming shallow. I may be having a slight panic attack. There's no way I can face him right now. What if he regrets our night and we are awkward around each other? I couldn't handle seeing regret in his eyes. Easing on the bed, I try my damnedest not to wake him. Thank goodness he stays asleep. Randomly searching the room and find my clothes scattered about, I quietly slip them on, even with the slight snoring and my soreness in my unmentionables. I need to get out of here and wrap my head around what happened. What a freaking night! He woke me up several times in several different positions and made me scream each time. I smile as I think about how good it was. After a minute or two, I shake myself out of my stupor and continue dressing. Grabbing his phone from the bedside table, I begin to send myself a text, but he rolls over and moans, reaching out for me. Quickly putting the phone back on the table, I slide a pillow between his reaching hands and he hugs it to himself. Whew, that was close. He almost caught me sneaking out. I'll just get his number from Conrad's phone or his sister. I silently leave the room and am about to go. I silently leave the room and am about to go to get on the elevator when I see Mossy Burkett, Lee's sister, getting off. I must look aside. Great, she'll know what I've been up to. Several folks will know now about my walk of shame before we hit the city limits of Twin Oaks. Mossy won't gossip about me in malice. It will be to help me, which almost scares me worse than any gossip ever could. I hop on the elevator and push the button for my floor. Thank goodness I escaped before I had to confront Lee. I couldn't handle it if he acted as if he wished I were gone, or if he regretted our night together. I know I don't. Chapter 2, Lee. The sound of the door closing wakes me, and I sit up in bed remembering the night of wild sex with Hannah. It was amazing. Hell, she was amazing. Holy shit, she left without waking me. That little chicken shit, but what a hot little chicken shit she is. I always thought Hannah was a pretty girl. The older she got, the more attracted to her I was. But I had no idea she was hiding such a gorgeous body under her clothes. Granted, I had a few hints, but her naked body set me on fire and had me panting for more. All 5 feet 2 inches of it. Last night I saw a different side to Hannah as she turned into a wildcat at my touch. She made me want more with each slide of her curves against me. Her full rosy lips had my eyes rolling back in my head on several different occasions. I loved watching the flecks of gold become brighter in her brown eyes as she found her pleasure. It was a beautiful sight. My only regret was we needed sleep and I didn't get to spend more time on her breast. They fit perfectly in my hands. Next time, I plan to do them more justice, and there will definitely be a next time. Stretching and smiling, I feel amazing. Amazing seems to be my word for the day. Amazing girl, amazing sex, amazing day, and I need to get my amazing butt out of bed. Jumping out of bed and quickly throwing on my clothes from last night, I hope to catch her before she leaves the floor. It was stupid of me not to find out where her room was last night. Racing down the hall in my rush to catch Hannah, I almost run over Mossy as she's walking up the hall. Grabbing her shoulders to steady her, I see she is grinning like the cat who swallowed the canary. Her smug demeanor can't mean good things for me. Lee, what are you doing up so early? Why is she smirking at me? I narrow my eyes at her. I really don't want her to know about Hannah and me until we're on solid ground. She and Mama would want to help me out, and I really don't need their brand of assistance. Oh, Mossy, I am looking down at the bag of muffins she's carrying. A light bulb goes off. Yeah, I'm going to get some breakfast before I pack up to leave. You haven't seen anyone this morning, have you? She acts like she's thinking about my question for a moment before she responds. I did see Hannah a few minutes ago. I didn't realize her room was on this floor. She just got on the elevator. Is that who you're looking for? Mossy smiles coyly, quirking a brow. Damn, I knew she was on to me. Yeah, I didn't know she was on this floor either. Okay, well, I'll see you in about an hour to drive home. Rushing past her, I get on the elevator and she waves at me as the doors close. I hope for once Mossy will mind her own business and let me handle Hannah. I have a feeling the little darling is going to be shy about this whole thing. Although she wasn't acting very shy last night, I smile as I think of just how bold she was. My conch gets hard at the thought of our night together, and I can't wait until we can do it again. There isn't a soul inside as I step off the elevator into the lobby. I don't know how to find her, but that won't stop me. It would be easy to wait until we get home and go over to her office next week. Hell, it's across the street from mine. I want to make contact as soon as possible, though, and not give her too much time to overthink what happened. I'm not sure why she left, but she needs to know what's between us is real. Hannah was off limits for so long, and now that she is available, I'm ready to start a relationship. She's older, she has begun her career, and I've moved back home, so we don't have to play the long distance game. The first time I truly noticed the woman Hannah was becoming was when I was home from college visiting Conrad. There was some sort of formal function happening at the high school, and Hannah was going. She came downstairs all dressed up in a too short, strapless formal dress. She was 16 at the time, but I remember it like it was yesterday. When she walked into the room, my jaw dropped. And I looked up. I wanted to wrap her up in a coat or something that covered her sexy dress and lock her away until she was old enough for me to date. I forced myself to act normal and treat her like a little sister while her pimple faced date stood beside her and put his arm around her for pictures. I made jokes and told her to have a good time, but threatened her date with his life if he laid a hand on her. Smiling, I remember how sweaty and red faced the poor boy became. I'd be willing to bet he didn't get within a foot of my Hannah. Throughout the years, I've dated numerous women as I tried to put Hannah out of my mind. It never worked. I was too attracted to her. I'd start off strong, then I'd begin comparing them to her. Their hair wasn't the right color, they were too tall or too short, their laugh and voice were obnoxious. I finally stopped dating anyone unless I was attending a function in my hometown. I used my dates as a barrier to keep me from starting anything with Hannah. First, she was too young, and I knew a long distance thing just wouldn't work for me. Once I had her, I would need to be near her. Taking a seat in the lobby to think of my next move, I hear voices coming off the elevator. Hannah's cousin Shelley and some other girl I don't recognize walk into the lobby. An idea suddenly takes root. I could just get Hannah's number from her cousin, then I could text her. Shelley sees me and turns in my direction, blinking her eyes up at me. I'm not sure what's wrong with her. Growing up, I never really cared for her. She's a couple of years younger than Conrad and me, and she lives in North Louisiana. She and her family used to visit Conrad and Hannah's grandparents during the summer, and she drove us nuts when we were kids. She was such a brat and tattled on us when we didn't play with her. Her mother, Conrad's Aunt Leslie, forced us to include her in whatever game we were playing. It was not something boys wanted to do, so it created some hard feelings toward her. I slowly stand as she stops in front of me. Hi, Shelley. You're up early. Did you have fun at the wedding last night? She smiles up at me and winks. Shelley isn't an unattractive girl, but she's never done anything for me. Oh, yeah, I had a great time last night. I'm supposed to meet my family in the restaurant for breakfast. You haven't seen any of them, have you? She sidles up next to me, so I take a step back. No, I haven't seen anyone. Look, I need to get in touch with Hannah. You wouldn't happen to have her number, would you? Her friend snickers. Shelley's eyes harden and her mouth tightens. Yeah, I have her number. I take out my phone and wait for her to continue. Shelley pulls out her phone and looks through it. It's 334-545-9001. Or, whoops, I should say that right. 9001. I put it in my contacts and grin. Thanks, I appreciate it. She gives me a wicked looking smile, making me feel slightly uncomfortable. Then she and her friend turn to walk into the restaurant. I decide to go get dressed. I would hate for anyone else to catch me looking like I just rolled out of bed. I step on the elevator and send Hannah a text. Might as well make contact and get the ball rolling. Me. Hey, darling. Loved last night and miss you already. Text me when you get a chance. Would love to ask you out on a real date. Your waiting lover. I hit send. Oh, shit. Your waiting lover. What the hell was I thinking? That sounds too cornball. for words. Sign, I pocket my phone. Can't take it back now. Maybe she'll find it cute. I hope it doesn't take her too long to text or call me back. I've waited 7 long years to finally start a relationship with Hannah. Now that we've moved in that direction, I don't want it to wait any longer. Given the chance, I'd keep her in my bed and not let her out. After changing clothes and packing, I hook up with Mossy, Tyler, and Justin to start the drive home. They all keep giving me knowing looks, and I choose to ignore. I'm constantly checking my phone for a text from her. So far, nothing. I can see the read receipt, so I know she's read my message. Damn, did I jump the gun? I'm not going to be able to back off. She made a move on me last night, and I thought she was ready. Surely she knows how I feel after everything we did. Damn it. What if she's not ready for a relationship right now? Lord help us if she's not. I don't know if I have the control to give her the time and space she needs to make peace with the way things are going to be. When we were younger, Hannah was somewhat shy and naive, always fairly quiet when I was around. My attraction to her has always surprised me because she's never had much to say when we've talked. Although I've watched her at various gatherings over the last year and have noticed she's not as reserved as once was. She was the good girl, doing what was expected and never giving her parents a moment of trouble. She made good grades in school and was never involved in any drama. Conrad told me about a time some punk tried to convince her she needed to pay to get to her locker. Her friend Avery stepped in and Conrad may have threatened the guy's life. This was one of the reasons Conrad always worried she would be taken advantage of. But it looks like she made it through college without too much difficulty and is now running her father's real estate business while he's on the coast setting up another office. She seems to have it under control, and she may end up making the office more successful than her father did. Maybe she's more aggressive when she's not dealing with personal matters. I can relate to that. No one likes to feel the sting of rejection. I may just have to give my girl a push in the right direction. Living in the same town is going to make things much simpler. My office sits across the street from hers, which means I'll see her almost daily, making it impossible for her to ignore me. The closer we get to Twin Oaks, the more excited I become at the challenge of making Hannah mine. Sending her another text, I make my wishes clear. Me, Hannah, I don't know why you're giving me the silent treatment. You certainly weren't silent last night, and I can hardly wait until I can make you scream again. See you soon, your ignored lover. Hitting send, I roll my eyes at myself. Your ignored lover? Really? The read receipt pops up almost immediately, but I receive no return text. I don't know why she's not responding, but I won't give up on her. I haven't waited this long for my girl to allow me insecurities to stop me now. The next few weeks, months, or however long it takes to convince her we're meant to be together should be interesting. Chapter 3, back to Hannah. It's been 6 days since Conrad's wedding and 5 days since I've seen or talked to Lee. Jordan invited me to join her and some friends at the Twisted Oak for cocktails after work. Since I work on Saturdays, I've come home to change into tight jeans, a sexy black backless shirt, and some short fuck me boots with heels. Tonight, the plan is to have a kick-ass time. Probably not as good of a time as I would have had if Lee, no call Burkett, knew how to use a phone. But you know what? Fuck him. I've checked my phone at least 1,000 times this week and waiting on him to at least text and say, oh, I don't know, thanks for the sex, but no, nothing. Knowing I bolted the morning after without so much as a see you around puts some of the blame on me. I avoided seeing him all week, even though his new office is directly across the street from mine. Dodging him wasn't a difficult task. He spent his time holed up with Mr. Abels, the older gentleman whose office Lee has taken over after his retirement. Tonight, though, I refuse to worry about his ass. If he doesn't want more, I'm going to move on, even if it kills me. Jordan waves from a table in the back as I walk into the bar. It's fairly crowded tonight, so it takes me a few minutes to make it through all the people and join her and the rest of the girls she invited. Jordan smiles at me when I reach the table. Girl, you looking good tonight. Who are you trying to catch in this hole in the wall? Shrugging my shoulders and taking a seat, I recognize two of the girls from school, but not the third one. The four of them look as if they've already started drinking. Great, I'm already behind. Hey, Mitchell, what's a girl got to do to get a shot around here? I call out to the bartender. He nods in my direction, and I turn back around to the table. My throat's getting dry. Hannah, I would imagine you know Cara and Ashley from school, and that's Marley on the end. She moved to town 6 months ago and works with me at the hospital. Her mother is Dee Dee Duncan. As Jordan introduces everybody, I smile and wave, and they all wave back, followed by silence. We all just sit there for a few minutes looking at one another. Well, this is an awkward a bit. I'm a bit surprised with Marley. I had no idea Miss Dee Dee had a daughter. Whoops, sorry. Put my hand on there. There we go. I'm back. I briefly wondered if she's as strange as her mother. The other girls were a year ahead of me in school. We didn't really hang in the same circles, but that was high school. We're grown now, so things are hopefully different. So, Cara and Ashley, do you work at the hospital too? I haven't seen you around town. Did you recently move back? It's not too surprising I haven't seen them. I don't get out much. I have been so caught up in taking over the family business. Time for fun has been in short supply over the last year. I do. I work in the radiology department, but Cara works at the bank as a loan officer. We really haven't been back long. I moved home from college only a couple of months ago, and Cara moved here last month. So don't feel bad, Ashley explains as Mitchell sets my shot in front of me. What are you doing these days? Running my dad's real estate business. Nothing too exciting. Looking at the shot, I am almost overwhelmed with memories of my last encounter with tequila. Nope, not going there. Drinking it with a cough, I suck the lime he placed on a napkin next to my glass. He also gets a margarita on the table and nods toward the bar, and my no-call lover tips a glass in my direction. My face heats with anger, but I smile back at him and give him a not-so-friendly salute with my middle finger. A confused look crosses his face. Then he scowls at me. Maybe he will get a hint. Asshole. Hannah, who are you flipping off? Oh, is that Lee? Jordan has eyed me suspiciously when I turn back, reminding me I'm not alone. My cheeks heat with embarrassment, and I quickly scramble for an explanation that won't announce my one night with Lee. Yeah, that's Lee. I'm a little pissed at him, but I don't plan on letting it spoil my time. I wave my hand in the air, blowing off what just happened as if it's a normal occurrence for me to flip off random men. Then I take a sip of my margarita. Hey, I'm not one to turn down free drinks. Jordan orders another round of shots for our table, and I see this night heading downhill pretty fast. I remember him from school. Whoa, he's even hotter than he was then. I remember half our group having a crush on him, and the other half was in love with Justin Sims, Cara said with a giggle. I want to poke her eyes out on demand to know if she was Team Lee or Team Justin. Jordan elbows my side and gives me a knowing look. Hell, I'm glaring at the poor girl. I smile and take another sip of my margarita. I was more of a Justin fan. I've seen him out and about a few times since moving back, and he still gets my motor running. Ashley sighs, propping her chin on her hand and looking off into space with a dreamy look. I'm liking Ashley, but still unsure about Cara. She hasn't claimed her team yet. I think they're both pretty, but I believe I'll just admire from afar. Marley throws in and gives me a knowing smile as she sips her drink. She and Jordan are grinning at me, and I wonder how obvious I'm being. I'm going to need to control my reactions to the man. Y'all, my belly is itching like you cannot even believe. I'm just like, I need a Brillo pad on it. Ugh. Or wire brush or something. She and Jordan are grinning at me, and I wonder how obvious I'm being. I'm going to need to control my reactions to that man if I don't want to the whole town knowing I spent the night with him. The other two girls are talking about different men we went to school with and what they may be up to. I'm relieved they've moved off the subject of Lee. After an hour of drinking and dancing, our group takes a break. We all move to the table with the exception of Cara. She stopped to talk to Lee. My blood is boiling, and I think steam may come out of my ears. So now I know she was Team Lee. I know it's healing, but it still itches. It's ugly, too. It's like 16 shades of ugly. Jordan pushes some form of alcohol toward me. Drink and take a deep breath. I can't believe Cora got up enough nerve to actually talk to Lee Burkett. Wow. I think I'll go get a beer and see if I can maybe chat up Mitchell. Ashley giggles, totally obvious to the drama unfolding around her. Drinking from the glass Jordan placed in front of me, I begin to calm down. I know it's probably the alcohol combined with my uncertainty where Lee is concerned, but I want to scratch Cara's eyes out. Lee turns as if to lead Cara onto the dance floor, and our eyes meet. Quickly turning away, I take a deep breath to calm myself. My chest feels as though a knife is piercing it. I know I didn't like those two. Why did you invite them, Jordan? Marley pats my back, trying to comfort me. I offer her a weak smile. Cara heard me talking to you in the hall about tonight and invited herself. Jordan scowls at Marley, and I laugh at their antics. I'm sorry, Hannah. I had no idea something like this would happen. It's not your fault, Jordan. It's mine for giving a shit. Oh, hun, sometimes we simply can't help ourselves. Jordan pulls me into a side hug. Nodding in agreement, Marley's eyes widen as she gasps. Hi, Lee. Glancing up, I find the source of my discontent standing at my shoulder. I thought you were dancing with Cara. I think they're playing our song, Lee whispers in my ear as he helps me up. Jordan's jaw drops as he practically drags me onto the dance floor. Once we're away from the others, Lee pulls me into a secluded corner. I thought they were playing our song. Sarcasm drips off every word I speak. No, dog, that's not our song. That song is about someone cheating on someone else and most definitely is not going to be our song. I would kill anyone who touches you. Tonight has been a true test of my patience. He leans down and kisses me. I pull back and push on his chest to put some distance between us. Lee, you were about to dance with someone else. And I saw the look on your face. I couldn't let my girl be hurt by a dance with someone who means nothing to me. He leans down to nuzzle my neck, and I breathe in his smell, all woodsy and man, but I'm too pissed to give in yet. Why didn't you dance with her? He moves back a step, but keeps his hands on my waist. His eyes are smoldering in the dim light, and I feel my resistance begin to melt away. Isn't it obvious? I only want you. Hell, Hannah, I touch you and I go up in flames. No one else will do. Leaning down, he attempts to kiss me again, but I turn my head and his lips graze my cheek. What? Does he think he can just crook his finger and I'll come running? Why haven't you asked me to dance before now? You've been here all night and you are going to tell me you only now got up the nerve to do so? Crossing my arms over my chest, I'll lift my chin in defiance. Oh, this sounds so much like me. Ooh, what a pretty sunset. Lee sighs heavily. If you remember, I received a not-so-friendly salute when you first arrived, And you gave me several glares throughout the night. I didn't think you would welcome my advances. What do you know? The boy isn't as stupid as I thought. Narrowing my eyes, I try to hold on to my anger, but can feel it dissolving as my desire for this man is quickly taking over. So you decide now is the right time to make a move? My voice trembles at the memory of the hurt I felt at seeing another man flirting with him. Woman flirting with him. Lee pulls me against him, and I melt into his warmth. Nuzzling my hair, he whispers, Hannah, I didn't care how pissed you were. When I saw tears in your eyes, nothing was keeping me away, not even you. Lee tips my chin up with his finger until our eyes meet, and he covers my lips with his. Running his tongue along my lips, he demands entrance, and I give it to him. With a sigh of acceptance, I melt against him, reaching up to grip his shoulders. Tightening his hold on my waist, he pulls me against his hardness, and our closeness draws a groan from him. I try to resist. I really do, but damn, I wanted this man for as long as I knew what wanting a man was all about. Pulling back, he looks into my eyes. You look sexy as hell, and I'm tired of sharing you with those other assholes. I want you to myself. Leaning down, he skims his lips along my neck, and I turn my head to the side to give him better access. I missed you this week. All I could think about was my cock and... Oh, that's him saying. I missed you this week. All I could think about was my cock and your tight pussy, and I've had to turn to my new BFF, my right hand. A guy could do damage with all that all the jacking off I've done. I moan at the thought of him pleasuring himself. His dirty talk has me so hot. I could hump him right here in the bar. Let's get out of here. Head out while I make excuses to your friends. He turns me toward the exit, then swats my ass as I walk toward the door like a sex-crazed puppet. Resisting him is not an option. He isn't the only one who was friendly with their hand this week, and that only left me unsatisfied and in need of the real thing. I should jump his shit for not calling or texting me, but horny Hannah is in charge and calling the shots tonight. The first order of business is to get laid, then maybe reasonable, self-respecting Hannah can have a go at his ass. Once we're in the parking lot, he leads me to his truck and drives us to my place on the outskirts of town. Earlier, I caught a ride with Conrad, promising to call him if I couldn't find a ride home. He's working the night shift, so he will probably go by the bar to check on me. I briefly wonder what he will say about me leaving with Lee. Oh, well, horny Hannah doesn't worry about what big brothers think. Parking the truck in my driveway, Lee hops out and walks around to my side and opens the door. I slide my body down his as I get out, and he grabs my waist and pulls me closer, pressing his hardness against me. I grind my hips against him, and he moans before covering my mouth with his. Pulling at his shirt, I can't get close enough. Running his hand up my shirt, Lee palms bare breast. No bra? Holy fuck, baby. I love the fact he's breathless. I can't wear one with this shirt, I explain as he kisses my neck. Slipping both hands inside my shirt, he palms my breast and rubs my nipples with his thumbs. I arch my back and moan, getting closer to him. That's hot. I'm glad I didn't know it in the bar, or we would have been out of there 5 minutes after you arrived. The porch light on the house next door suddenly comes on, reminding me we're in my driveway. Pulling away from him, I lead the way to my front door, looking for my keys and my purse as I do. Once I let us in the house, Lee swings me back into his arms and backs me against the door, grabbing my ass and lifting me off the floor. I wrap my legs around his hips, pressing his center against the hardness as I drop my purse and keys. I need to be inside you. It's been too long. Claiming my mouth once more, our tongues entwine as Lee pulls me away from the door and walks us toward the back of the house, rubbing against me with each step. He moves toward my open bedroom door, and I soon feel the softness of my bed beneath my back. His mouth never leaves mine as we lie down. He sucks my tongue into his mouth and heat erupts in my lower stomach. The kiss becomes more passionate as he moves his hands to my waist, lifting me against him. I could climax from kissing this man. Is that good? It's that good. Pulling back and gasping for air, I try to catch my breath. Lee, I want you so much. I'm buttoning his shirt. I only get halfway before he reaches back, pulls it over his head, and tosses it near our feet. Unable to resist his bare chest, I lightly stroke him with my fingertips, his muscles quivering at my touch. Grasping the hem of my shirt and pulling it over my head, it quickly joins his on the floor. Lee finds my breast with his mouth, and I don't stop the moan that escapes as I arch my back, bringing us closer. His cock springs free as I remove his pants. Encircling him with my hand, I give him a pump, and now he's the one moaning. I kick my boots off as he slips my jeans over my hips, taking my lacy black thong with them. As I'm lying naked beneath him, he reaches between my legs. So wet, so wet. Placing a finger inside of me and pumping a couple of times, he looks into my eyes and I writhe under his touch. Continuing his ministrations, he adds his thumb to the mix and rubs my clit, almost sending me over the edge. Removing his finger slowly, he grasps my hips, flips me over onto my stomach, and pulls me up on my knees. Hearing the rip of full, I move closer to the edge of the bed. Lee positions the tip of his cock at my entrance and moves inside of me with a hard lunge. I lose my breath for a second. God, what I wouldn't give to feel that again. He stops, giving me time to adjust. Are you all right, Hannah? Pushing my hips into him as my answer, we both moan as he goes deeper. You feel so good, so tight, like you were made for me. Lee rasps and pulls me upright until I'm feeling leaning against him with my back pressing against his chest. With his hand on my breast and the other rubbing my clit, it's almost more than I can handle. Lee, please, I need to come. I got you. Just let go, Lee gasped. Moving deeply within me, he sets me ablaze with want. Reaching back, I encircle his neck with my hands and hold on for the ride. He bites down gently on my neck, and I explode with his name on my lips. Lee groans as he quickens his movements and finds his own pleasure. Falling onto the bed together, Lee quickly rose to the side, leaving me feeling empty. I push myself up and crawl under the covers, holding them up and inviting him to join me. I'm not ready to let him go yet. He slides in beside me and pulls me close. This man loves to snuggle. He leans down and kisses my forehead as my eyes flutter shut. I could get used to having him in my bed. Given enough time, this man could make me the happiest woman in the world or the most miserable. And that's it, ladies. What y'all think? So, you can get this on Amazon. It is $2.99. I think I looked and then I forgot. I know it's not on KU. Let's see. Anyways, it's book 2 in series of 4. They're called the Twin Oaks series. And it is $2.99. They're $2.99 each. And they're really good. I just love Reece's writing. She is awesome. So the books are, if I can get them in order. Mama Knows Best, Bless Your Heart, Two Peas in a Pod, and Chin Up Buttercup. So very Southern. All righty. So tomorrow night, I'm not sure what's going on. I will be here reading. I'm still waiting on the book by the author. If I don't get it, Nina and I are starting to run into some issues with not getting books from our authors, or promos just basically getting ignored. So if there will be a book tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, I'm just not sure yet what it is. So, alrighty, you ladies have a good evening. Nina, make sure you share this with, or Vincey, whoever's doing it, share this with Reece so that she can watch it. And thank you, Reece, for letting me read it. I appreciate it. And thank you for your hard work out there, girlfriend. Keep it up. Keep them safe. All righty. You guys have a good evening. Happy reading.